Hey folks, here I am again. We're gonna call this Sit Rep 34. It'll probably be the last one for a while because there's no point saying anything about anything until something changes. And if you saw Sit Rep 33, then maybe you understand what I meant by that. And that is now that I've got a clearer picture, I understand why the doctors call my case unique, and I can accept that. I can accept the fact that there are things going on. They don't know exactly what steps to take. They presented the options of doing some more aggressive therapy, but in my mind, the aggressive therapy would mean downtime, recovery time, and I'm not sure that I'm ready to do that. So I'll continue doing what I'm doing. And so you ask, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm kind of sort of enjoying myself. I'm totally involved in the leagues in Baybrook and Siena. In fact, put something else on my list of things to do, which is to try and get a women's league started at Lifetime Siena. I don't know whether that's going to work. I would love to see it happen because there are just too few opportunities for girls to continue playing after college or high school. So I'll see what I can do there. And I'm having fun doing that. Let me jump aside here and say, you guys who used to play for me should be grateful that all this AI stuff wasn't available back then, because I remember calling you guys airballs and pea brains and telling kids not to wear green striped pants and stuff like that. And boy, I would have had a field day with you guys. Anyway, so I'm going to continue doing that. I'm out walking today because after Sit Rep 33, I sort of, even though I didn't want to, I sort of fell back into a slump. And I started doing nothing, and I haven't walked in quite a while. So I'm going to try to get back on track, keep my mind right, and go from there. And so, like, for instance, last night was not a great night. I woke up 4 or 5 times with problems with my back, problems with my legs, upper abdomen problems. But I've learned to live with those and accept them, and when necessary, take some medication. And that's what I'll continue doing until the rules change. I just got to keep my head right, and the body will take care of itself. And let me finish by just using this platform once, and I don't do it often, but I feel I need to make some social statements, because most of you that see these are people who have played for me and understand my philosophies, and without trying to impose them on you, I've tried to have some type of an influence. And since I've got this platform, I want to do that now. I look around, I see the things that are going on, and there's so much of it that really gets on my nerve. I mean, I'm in favor of civility. Yeah, there are times that I lose my temper. There are times I say things that I shouldn't say, but I try to maintain some form of, I don't know what to call it, moderation. And I look around and I can see, things that used to be totally unacceptable are now the norm. I was watching a newscast last night, well, not a newscast, a podcast on a fairly well-known station, and the guy's dropping F-bombs and calling people names and things like that. And I asked myself, well, where does that come from? When did we stop respecting other people's thoughts? When did we stop showing common decency? And then I stop and I look at the trickle-down effect. And when I see the guy that's supposed to be the leader of the country using that kind of language and being that disrespectful, and there's no question about where it came from. And it's not right. You can't go on the internet and not see some youngster or some man or some woman challenging a policeman. No, I'm not saying that policemen always do the right thing. I'm not saying that their actions are always correct. But I have found in my time on this planet, and that's been quite a few days, that if you show mutual respect, you'll get respect in return. And we seem to have forgotten that. I look at guys playing basketball, and I'm even still trying to coach when I write my pregame and postgame reports for the games. I'm trying to, coach and teach. And these guys are 30, 35, 40 years old. And you say, well, it's not your place to teach them. No, it's not. But if we're occupying the same space, I need you to respect my space within that space. Because it goes back to something that I've always believed, and that is your freedoms end where someone else begins. So you can say, yeah, I have the right to do this. But if your rights step on his rights, it's wrong. So having said that, I'll just let that go. But this entitlement thing, people feel that they can do whatever they want, and regardless of what everybody else thinks or does or feels, it's just wrong. I don't know where we're heading. All I can say is that I will continue within my space to apply the things that I feel are correct. And if you don't agree with the things that I feel, either stay out of my space, or let's sit down and talk about where the lines cross and try to get them straight. So having said that, I'll just close by saying I'm feeling okay. There are some issues, but they're issues that I can deal with, and I'll continue to deal with them. And I'll just spend whatever time there is. I am still in hospice. I don't know what that means. Even the doctors don't know what that means anymore for me. But I'll continue doing what I'm doing. And maybe if I'm lucky, if I can save enough money, maybe I'll take one more trip. But that's down the road, and I'll have to do that as it comes. So I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope your summer turns out the way you had hoped that it did, and I hope your fall is better. So that's it for now. This is what they call me in the leagues, the pot stirrer, signing off.